LDBC, this is your boy Coach Shelton Harrison. You're live on the Coach Shelton Harrison Boxing and MMA Show live. Okay, folks, this topic is really, it's close to me, man. And this is really a topic, man, that I take very seriously, okay? I want to talk about children in the foster care system. I want to talk about them. You know, I've trained a lot of children in my program that were brought up in the foster care system, you know. I've trained them. And, you know, I've managed through my program, I've managed to beat the odds with those kids. Because, do you know, man, in the foster care system alone, that those kids that are in that, you know, they have a 95% chance to not graduate. That's pretty staggering, but here go the other staggering numbers, okay? Those kids, they have a 68% chance to be in jail. And even moreover, okay, those kids have a 53% chance, man, this is high, to actually be murdered. So the level of murder rate with foster care kids when they grow up is actually higher. Those numbers are staggering. So if you're looking at two kids, one of the kids might make it and the other one could be dead. Like literally, those numbers are very staggering, y'all, for foster care, for kids that remain in that system. I know, I've dealt with foster care kids, man, and let me tell you something. They not the easiest kids to work with. Them kids angry. They want to be back with their parents, and some of them don't even know who their parents are, man. They don't have a clue as to who their parents are. And people wonder why these kids are angry, man. I've got experience, man. I've seen kids in that system, man. I trained some. It was this one dude, man. I'll never forget him, man. And, you know, we beat. He was in the 5% that made it. There was this little Hispanic kid named Rudolph, man. I'll never forget him, man. Never. And for a while, man, you know, I was dropping them off at the homeless shelter because, you know, that's where they lived at. I was dropping them off after every practice. And then, you know, finally I talked to his dad and I said, hey, you know, he can stay with me because, you know, ain't really nobody there. I got an extra room. He can stay there. And, you know, it won't be no problem while you guys try to figure stuff out. And so the dad was okay. He was cool with that, man. He was cool with that. And then also, too, see, his dad wanted him to avoid going to foster care. So, yeah, I said, yeah, that's a good idea, man. So, look, just, you know, he can stay with me and, you know, we'll make sure we get to school and, you know, and that's how we left it, you know. So, for about 8 months, man, this kid, you know, he stayed with me. And, you know, me and my girl, we just, you know, did the things for him. You know, she took him to school, I picked him up, and just all kind of stuff, man. And he was a part of my program. He worked out. So me picking him up and taking him to practice with me, it was okay because, you know, he was already with me. So that was the whole 9 yards. And then, you know, he was doing good, man. He got his grades up. He just started doing a lot of stuff. Even his teachers were like, you know what? He's doing a lot better. You know, he's actually doing his work because, you know, man, we don't play that. We don't play that, man. You gonna do your work, you know? And, you know, he had a deep respect for me, man. But, you know, you could tell, man, and, you know, this kid was just angry, man. He was angry a lot. And so when he made the honor roll for the first time, you know, things were going good. And, well, I got a knock at my door. It was a sheriff, and it was some papers, and they pretty much said that, you know, we got to take this kid. And it was, you know, Child Protective Services basically taking the kid. And I said, for what? And they were like, well, he not your kid. You know, he started going on, this is not your child. And I said, yeah, but I got permission from the parents. And see, where I messed up at, man, I should have got like a legal court document to actually be able to adopt the kid. But see, that was my mistake. I mean, I literally should have adopted him, but I just took him, you know, the parents left him to me in good faith. And when I was telling his dad, man, you know, his dad said, well, it ain't much I can do for him anyway. And I'm like, well, you know, let's go get some court documents, man. Let's go sign the papers. Let me go in and get them. Couldn't find his dad. His dad, they disappeared on me, man. And so this kid, man, you know, he was a junior in high school, so it hit him at just the right time, man. It was bad. He, you know, man, he got mixed up in the foster care system. And needless to say, he had gotten into some trouble, man. He had gotten into a lot of trouble, man. A lot of trouble. And so it was about maybe 3 o'clock at night, man. I received a phone call. And, you know, he said, man, you know, he had gotten shot in that. And, you know, basically he needed somebody to come pick him up from jail and just all kind of crazy stuff, man. And so, you know, I went down, got him, and we started talking. He said, Coach, man, I don't know what happened, man. I got wrapped up at the wrong moment, man, and you know I got a court date. So I got him out, and funny enough, the police actually let him come to me. They didn't let him go back to the foster home. Okay, they didn't let him go back. They let him come back with me. And so on his court date, you know, I talked to this particular judge. And I told the judge, I said, listen, you know, and I had his grades, I had everything that he, you know, had done when he was living with me. And I said, you know, look, all of his grades, everything have gone up. You know, he's a student, he's doing well because he's in an environment where somebody's going to give a damn about him. I told the judge this. And she said, well, we're going to keep him on house arrest. And I said, that's fine, he going to be with me anyway. If he not at school, he with me. And she said, we're going to keep him on house arrest. And this judge, I was thankful, you know, it was a blessing because she released this kid to me. Like, she literally released him to me. And she said, he can go with you. He can go with you. And, you know, he'll be graduating from school because, you know, he also had a couple of scholarships, athletic scholarships on the table that, you know, that he was messing them up, man, because he was getting in trouble. But he kept running away from the foster home he was in because they was mistreating him, man. They do stuff, man. See, this is what they were doing, man. They would do stuff like they'll go out, go shopping with the money that they're supposed to use to, you know, to help him. They go shopping, wouldn't bring him back anything. Some nights he telling me he not eating. And, you know, I believe it. I actually believe it. Because what did I tell y'all before, man? The gangbanger and the person who lied to you is a difference. The gangbanger do what he have to do because he actually got to do it to survive. The person who lied to you and the person who try to get over on people, they do it because they're greedy. See, there's a difference. The gangbanger thinks that he has to do what he's doing to survive. That's what he think he got to do. So I believe him. He was saying, man, there'd be times he ain't even eat. There'd be times, man, you know, he was wearing the same clothes, you know, because they're supposed to go shopping and get him clothes, man. They wouldn't take the money what it was designed for. You know, you had the foster mom going out getting her hair done, getting her nails done, buying living room suits and stuff, because they give you a lot of money to deal with foster care kids. They give you a lot of money, man. And I'm not saying it's any all of them are bad. I ain't saying that. But I'm saying, man, for the most part, good grief, man. Some of these foster care parents, man, are complete scum, man. And so, you know, yeah, man, this dude wasn't eating, man. I mean, you can tell, man, he was thin, man. He was skinny. And I believed him, hell, because, you know, the dude was pure muscle, man. This dude, he had lost so much weight that even his muscle mass had been depleted by his body because he wasn't eating. He was trying to. They wouldn't feed him, man. And then, man, they do stuff to him like make him sleep on the floor. I mean, just all kind of crazy stuff, man. And so I told the judge this. I said, look, man, I had all my stuff. I had before, after pictures. I said, look at this. Look how vibrant and healthy you're looking. I said, look at this dude now. I said, this dude looked like he came off Tales from the Crypt, man. And the judge started laughing. I said, Judge, this ain't funny. I said, this is about his life. I said, this is about his life. And I gave her the numbers. Back then, it was only about 85% of foster care kids would graduate. Back then, I said, you know, 85% of these kids in this system, they graduate. And I said, he ain't gonna graduate. You see, he right here in the courtroom with you. So, you know, after arguing, man, and then you had some goofy ass prosecutor or some goofy guy over there talking about, well, you know, we need to put him, in this place. They got good results with juveniles. Oh, okay. So he can be in another place. He can be in a whole nother place, right? Where he can run away from. Okay. You put him in a detention center, a group home, and God knows, the stuff that happened at group homes, I'll tell you this after I'm done with this story. The stuff that happened at group homes, that's even worse than the foster care system. A group home is the worst place that you can send a kid. I promise y'all, it's the worst. That's just the way that is. But anyway, man, this judge finally, man, she said if he do anything, she said he will be in the system for good. You know, that's what she was telling me. So the last 9 months, she let him stay with me. And of course, he graduated. Every time he tried to do something stupid, man, I was smacking him right in the back of the head. What you doing? What you think you doing? I ain't play, man. I check this book bag every day. Man, look, I ain't play with this dude. I said, man, ain't nobody playing with you. Where you work at? See, I was on it, but see, you know, this was years ago, y'all. This was years ago. And, you know, now, man, he's a chef, man. This guy's a chef. Rudolph is a chef. He's one of those professional chefs because he always liked to cook, man. And he said when he get out of college, he was going to be a chef. He a chef. Okay? See, that's what I'm talking about with these foster care systems who don't give a damn about these kids, man. They don't give a damn. And I'll give you another. It was a girl I was training. It was a girl I was training, man. And see, this was about 12 years ago. 12 years ago. And I remember, man. And I used to always wonder, God, where is she going? Because, I would always say, hey, kid, you need a ride home? Oh, no, I don't need a ride home. I don't live too far. You say, oh, okay. And one day it was real late, and I said, it's kind of a little bit too late to be walking. And she said, nah, coach, I'm good. I only live around the corner. I said, okay, well, let me just, let me just kind of at least follow you over there. She said, no, I'm good. So, you know what I did, man? I let her get out of sight where she thought I wasn't looking. And I followed this kid, man. And this kid, okay, she jumped on a city bus. And I'm like, well, where the hell is she going, okay? She jumped on a city bus and across town from our practice area, way across town. How she got there so fast, I really never know. But this was a very resourceful girl, man. She went halfway across town and she went into this old house, man. And so I'm looking at her enter this house. I'm like, what is this? I'm seeing people coming in and out the house. I'm seeing people come in. She went in, dudes coming out. And then I said, wait a minute. Is this girl tricking Johns? And that's exactly what she was doing. And so I knocked on the door. And I said, is so-and-so here? And this was one of the first times I had a gun put in my head. And dude said, yeah, well, who asking? I said, well, I'm a guardian. Because see, now I knew this girl was on the street, man. This girl was on the street and she was surviving. Well, yeah, man, she can't come out. Well, I'm not leaving till, she comes because, And she came downstairs and she said, Coach, what? She said, man, what are you doing, dude? Are you trying to get your brain blown out? I mean, dude, what's... I said, look, let me tell you something. I said, you making A's and B's in school. I said, you about to get a track scholarship. I said, you about to do so much with your life. I said, we can't let it end up like this. What, for you to catch a disease? Because I'd already vested interest in trying to get this kid where they need to be, man. Because if this was she was doing, man, I'm telling you, man, this was a crack house, man. It was a crack house and it was a place, it was almost like a brothel. And I'm sitting here thinking, are you serious? But that's what she was doing, man. And I used to always wonder, man, she would have all these large amounts of cash. And I'm like, where do you work at? Oh, that's the job I've been doing for a few years, And I used to say, well, what is it? Well, I just do different things. Okay, like what? Well, I do stuff for friends and, I do odd jobs here and there. So I'm like, oh, okay. So she an entrepreneur, business. I didn't know that was her business. But anyway, yeah, man. And the same thing happened, man. The guy that had the gun in my head, I looked at him, I said, if you put the gun down, we can duke it out. I said, because really, you hiding behind a gun, that ain't going to do nothing anyway. If you put the gun down, we can duke it out. And then he looked at me, again, just like the other guy did. He said, why you want to die for a piece of trash? I said, man, I don't see a piece of trash, man. I see an AB honor roll student. I see, the best. Okay, and this kid at the time was one of the best track and field athletes in the whole country. This girl was one of the best. I'm talking about top 3. And I'm like, nah, she got a future. Oh, she can run? She making A's and B's? And so then dude kind of looked at me, man, with a whole different countenance, man. He said, you know what, man? I would always ask the kid, man, do she go to school? And you know what I'm saying? Thinking, man, well, why didn't you try, but I guess, man, I don't know. But part of him, he felt bad. He said, oh, okay, man. Then he told her to come here. He told her, get your ass, and if I see you again, I'm going to pull it. He said, I'm going to pull a bullet in both of y'all. This story doesn't happen to me a lot of times, man. But, sometimes, man, you can't be afraid of stuff, man. I've never been afraid of guns, man. And if somebody going to shoot me, it's my time to die. That's just, I've always counted. But if I die, then I'm going to die over doing something that I stand for. And so needless to say, man, okay, needless to say, me and my girl, we adopted this kid. And, we do the same things. We take him to school and, make sure that, all the stuff was there. But this one, man, I had to actually do a lot less because she was so used to that environment. And, kids at that age when they 15 and 16 is doing that crap, man, they have a tendency to actually go back into it, man, if you don't keep an eye, man. So, right there, one of us was there to pick her up, one of us was there to take her to practice. I mean, and she graduated. She ended up graduating. But what happened to her, man, the police, man, they came to my house, man. It was about 2 o'clock in the morning, man, the sheriff. And so when I saw the sheriff, I said, oh, okay, so we had already been through this before. Now, we already knew what was about to happen. We knew what was going on. And he came, he said, you got this kid so-and-so and so-and-so? I said, yeah. And he said, well, we came to take her and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, why? Well, because, you're not authorized to have the kid and you can't have the kid. And, and I said, did you know what the kid was doing? And the sheriff looked at me, he said, well, yeah, I realized that, but, you still, this is the law. And so they put her in a group home, man. They put this kid in a group home, okay? They put her in a group home, and she was molested. She was raped in a group home, okay? Go figure. But, see, this kind of thing happens all the time in a group home. She was raped and molested in this group home. And, of course, when we were trying to press charges, they didn't believe her because they thought she was just some prostitute. That's what they thought. That's what they thought she was. And, it's kind of bad that this is how these kids get treated in the system, man. And a lot of things go on with these kids. A lot of things, man. I mean, I'm talking about this stuff like not feeding them, man. Making them wear the same clothes for a week, man. And some of these pieces of scum that run these group homes, that run these foster homes, you know what? They need to be arrested. They need to be arrested. Because we know why you're doing it. You're doing it for the damn money. You got kids, man, that's running around here, ain't got food, ain't got clothes, and these people going out getting their hair and nails done. The group homes make a killing off these kind of dysfunctional kids. Ain't no psychiatry helping these group homes. These kids can go and come. They can do almost whatever. And I'm gonna tell you something right now, man. Tell y'all something. I've always, man. Anytime I've had a kid that I thought, was in a group home or any kind of foster home, like the kid that I adopted, the girl that we adopted. We adopted this kid, and we're gonna keep her till she get out of high school. I don't tell people that, but we adopted this kid, and yeah, that's how it is. That's what we do. Okay, I don't say much about it, but these kids need a chance, man. These kids, they need a chance. They need a chance at life, and when you put them in these group homes and when you put them in these situations and such, man, these kids, they lose their chance. They don't have a chance. They don't have a chance. Their life is gone. 53% chance to die if they go to a group home or if they go to a foster care home. You look at these numbers, man. You got kids in these group homes and foster homes that's being abused. You got kids in these foster homes that's being, they're being raped. Okay? They're being starved. They're being starved. They're being made to sit in a damn room. Okay? While the kids that live there get to go and have fun and do stuff and be kids. Then the kids in these foster care and these group homes, they know these adults in there, they don't care about them. And that's why these kids, they come to school, they act out, they do stupid stuff, and you wonder why they can't be functioning at school. You got all kind of counselors trying to talk to them, man, but ain't nobody addressing the real problem, man. Where is the concern? Where is the love? Because I'm going to tell you something, man. These are your future criminals. These are the people that's going to be coming up behind you and robbing you. Because, see, these people don't understand what love is. They only know survival. And I'm trying to tell you right now, there's something that has to be done about these foster care parents. And I started ratting them out. I got to the point, man, when I figured out that there were bad ones, I started ratting them out. I done ratted out 5 foster care parents. Or I done ratted them out and make them take them kids and put them in a home where people gonna love them. Because I can't get every kid. I can't get them all. But I can tell you what, I'm gonna get the ones that really do. They want somebody just to give a damn. That's all these kids want, man. They want somebody to give a damn about them. That's it. I can't stand this, man. And DSS, that ain't nothing but you know what? I'm gonna tell you what DSS is. That's called slave trade. That's what it is. You tell me what you think. This is your boy, Coach Shelton Harrison. I'm done.